What's up? It's your boy Carcino here, and let's talk about it. Woo! Let's talk about it. Tina Knowles. Tina! What's going on, baby? Tina Knowles. Her situation is different. A lot different. And by the way, I want everybody out there to make sure you donate to the Cash App, which is Carcino, Karceno. And shouts out to those who've been doing what they love and that's supporting me, and you guys have been keeping everything going. So Tony two times, Darren Nixon, Marcus, Greed 85, Demetrius, Andrew Gray, D Style, Adrian, Sincerely, Louise Moran, and Stephen Garner, Jason Evans, I believe it is, Gray February, Young Elder, Jesse Taylor. It's a lot of you. Too many to name. Sammy came through. Mr. Maxwell, EC, love the support. Uh, Jess Casey and Eric, Brian Carter, James McCrae. Thank you guys for showing the support to the page. We appreciate it. There's so many on the list. I can't even name everybody at this moment. I just hope I got some of the names I didn't say the last time. Now, J-Biz, you always definitely came through. And you guys are definitely going to hear more about this situation on the Patreon. This is a situation that has a lot of holes in it and a lot of holes that need to be filled. But it just shows you that the superstar family that you think the Knowles were with Beyonce and Solange, it was a lot different and were a lot similar to a regular household that you see in everyday life. Parents with problems. Matthew Knowles, as you know, was working and taking care. His whole thing was spending time with the girls and trying to make the band. City Girls or whatever they was called before then. They had way too many members. And they're doing choreography, and Beyonce wants to be a star. And they're serious about rehearsals and practices. Meanwhile, bills have to get paid. And Matthew was always the kind to be like, I take care of that. Oh, I took care of that already. Don't worry about that. So Matthew was very nonchalant about handling and any of the bills that were coming to the house. Tina and him was fighting over money. She had her beauty salon and doing her thing over there. But she notices that money is missing out the bank that's not being explained. And Matthew would drop the kids off somewhere and go missing. I mean, literally go missing. While they're at rehearsals, he would make sure they're there and just leave. And then would come back to pick them up. And sometimes he was late. A lot of times he was late. So she's, where are you going? And why is there money missing? So an argument ensues back and forth. And a lot of people who just witnessed this, because this is where the information's coming from. What you guys don't know is that Beyonce went as far as to scrub all of this stuff off of the internet. They paid money to have a majority of all of this information destroyed. Because they don't want anybody to look at the Knowles family that way. So I don't know what's going to happen with this video. Now, I'm not saying Tina wasn't driven to do the things she was doing, or she was in doing it just because it's her nature. 3 women that worked at her beauty salon didn't like her. If her salon was failing because of her attitude. One of the ladies that were working there was doing very well, and she was doing so great that Tina Knowles was becoming jealous of her. Jealous that she was getting all this attention, bringing all the people in, and customers were coming to see her at the salon. She wanted to raise her rent for her, her booth. And when you start doing that at a salon, you're going to drive away. And she's like, why does my rent have to go up? No matter how much money I make, that shouldn't reflect my rent. You making more money so you could pay more rent. And she was, oh, I gave you this on a discount. She was like, then this is what we agreed the rent was. So I'm paying the rent. Now the money I make is the money I make. Then she started coming up with petty rules. To that woman end up leaving and taking her booth somewhere to another salon. But that's what Tina wanted. She wanted to drive her out. The crowd had to be about her. It's always had to be about Tina. When people are coming in there because it's another personality who's another alpha woman, there were going to be problems. But there was another reason why that woman was driven out. As I was basically informed, that Tina was messing with a guy. Yep. Tina had her little romances on the side. And this was long before her and Matthew were even thinking about getting a divorce. She was messing around with a married man, allegedly a married man who was from downtown Houston. He had a finance company for homes or whatever, but she was messing with him, who, when she got spotted and caught by him, by other people who saw them, who actually had a daughter that dances with Beyonce or was in a talent show or something. And it was like, hey, Miss Knowles. So when the lady saw, she was startled, and she introduced the person and says, oh, he's an investor in our shop and he's gay. She told them later that the person was gay. The man was not gay. He was not gay, and they were dating. This was the first time she had got spotted. Then one of the girls who worked at the booth said that Tina and her were really close before they had a falling out. And the falling out happened to be with her cousin, who Tina was dating on the side. They went on a couple of dates, but it was becoming dangerous because Tina felt that the girl at the booth was going to spill everything because she had a big mouth. So that wasn't going to work. And she knew that she couldn't trust her as much as they got along. And she realized that she was more of a docile, follow the lead, non-alpha, non-threatening to Tina. So Tina liked the fact that she kept customers coming in and she was in the booth. But one of the main problems was the fact that she knew too much. And the fact that that was your cousin, Tina looked at it as, I have a family, I'm a married woman. That was a one-night thing. We're not going to date. You know, he knew what it was, and I'm not quite sure you knew what it was, because apparently the lady asked her, like, so how's everything going, with you and like her cousin, and she asked her in the place of business, which kind of scared Tina, and said, oh, that was just a momentary lapse of judgment. Like, I'm a married woman, we talked, nothing really went farther than that. But Tina knew she had to go. So she had a good excuse for letting her go, because the company and the business was starting to lose money. And they had to start letting some people go and for their booth. And people were just like, it's not the same here anymore. And, decided to go elsewhere. Now, this isn't the only thing that went down with old Miss Tina. Miss Tina did a lot of sabotaging too. Oh yeah. There's a lot of stuff going on, man, that went on here. She sabotaged a lot of people's chances to advance and do their own thing. Speaking very poorly about very talented hairdressers. As they pointed out, that she barely knows anything about fashion. I mean, as far as the hair, it's like she doesn't know how to treat hair. She really doesn't know. She needs tips. And what she does is just steal from everybody else. But she has no originality. She has no vision of how to do hair or anything else. So, they just think she's basic. But she, puts on this facade that she's from Milan, or she's French, and she's so prosperous, and she puts on a good show. So when you got somebody that puts on a good show, other people believe her personality and everything is bigger than what it is. Now, when Matthew, not to say Matthew's an angel, this is not about Matthew though, but you'll start to figure it out later, what's really going on here. Matthew was doing his thing on the side, and we've already covered that on the Patreon. There's so much on the Patreon, man, my head is going to explode. It really is. But also, Tina got caught messing around with her current husband now, Richard Lawson, while she was married, long before it was even announced they were dating. And she announced Richard to the person that caught them. Oh, this is my cousin. This is my cousin. After they was just caught kissing. Now, I'm not saying Tina didn't deserve to have a relationship and with all the things Matthew was doing, but I'm just saying she was out doing wrong too. It takes two to tango. Women don't like to hear that. Women like to hear everything is hunky-dory and it's all the man's fault. I'm just saying, if you want to do wrong because you see your man doing wrong, that's cynical. And it puts you in the same boat of, well, you're no better than him. Anyway, I'm out. Don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and definitely you'll find out more about this on the Patreon. I'm out.